From Rabobank Arena in Bakersfield, California, it's time for the CIF Basketball Championships. This is Division II for boys, presented by Farmers Insurance. The Lincoln Hornets out of San Diego at 28-2. They'll represent Southern California, where NorCal will be represented by the St. Francis Lancers at 30-3. Hello again, everybody. I'm Paul Sunderland. Sean Farnham, nice to see you, young man.
Paul, what have you been up to tonight? Anything going on here? Good job in the last game.
Thank you, and looking forward to this one. Superb team, Lincoln out of San Diego and St. Francis out of Northern California. We were just talking during that short break. It's really a battle of styles with respect to this matchup.
Yeah, you look at Lincoln. They want to play the game up in the 70s. They got a lot of high flyers, a ton of athleticism, and for St. Francis, they're going to try to mix and match their defense a little bit. They'll press, they'll trap, they'll play a little 2-3 zone, a little man-to-man, but they want the game played at their pace. They want to hold their opponent under 50 points. That's a difficult task today with the athleticism that Lincoln has.
All right, speaking of Lincoln, let's keep it right there and talk about one of their stars, Norman Powell.
Oh, this kid is outstanding, a phenomenal athlete. He's getting attention from almost every major college in the country. A lot of scouts tonight are in the building, and they're in the building for Mr. Powell. He'll shoot the three off the bounce. He's so good to look to dribble penetrate. He can dump it down. He's got a good feel for the game at 15 points, 9 rebounds in that Southern California championship game. And he's kind of the key and the igniter to the fire that is Lincoln.
6'3" junior, averaging 19 points per game, the total package. And for the opponents out of Northern California, Tyler Johnson will lead the way for St. Francis. Tell us about him.
Had an opportunity to talk to Tyler Johnson just a couple of moments ago before he took the court. He said his team's fired up. They said they're ready to go, and he's going to have to lead the way. He's Fresno State bound. He had an injury, missed the first 7 games of the season. Heard it last year in the summer in Las Vegas. We'll talk about that during the course of the game. 19 points, 10 rebounds in the NorCal Championships games. And I really like the way that he plays. A high basketball IQ, always under control. And I think that's one of the aspects that we'll see tonight from St. Francis. They're a team that if they're under control and they don't turn the ball over, they will give themselves an opportunity to win a state championship tonight.
Styles win out. Let's see whose style dominates, maybe early on. We'll see. Back in Bakersfield, teams being introduced to the crowd here for the CIF Division II Boys Basketball State Championship. Lincoln out of San Diego, St. Francis representing Northern California. The starting lineups, Maxie Simpson Powell, Victor Dean, and Tyree Robinson for Lincoln. Robert Bates, Patrick Crowley, Spencer Brisky, along with Lamont McCoy and James Osario. Those are the starting lineups for St. Francis at 30-3. Lincoln out of San Diego at 28-2, just moments away from the tip. There is Jason Bryant, the head coach for Lincoln. They're currently ranked number 19. They defeated Summit, Pasadena, and then Compton 60-52 to advance into the state championship. Well, St. Francis was defeating Rockland, Oakmont, and then Wood Creek 48-47. The St. Francis Lancers taking on the Lincoln Hornets. We're getting ready to go.
Two of the hottest teams in the state. When you look at Lincoln has won 23 consecutive games. St. Francis has won 22 out of their final 23 games. Now, they did lose in the sectional championships to a fellow WCAL league foe, and that's Archbishop Mitty. So they've taken a loss, but they responded from it. They've won 3 straight, and that's why St. Francis here. Lincoln, they're one of the most athletic teams, if not the most athletic team in the state this year.
Drew Dickey will be in the center circle, 6'8", 220-pound sophomore. Lincoln will be the visiting team in green. St. Francis out of NorCal, the home team in white. Forced jumper along the baseline, not there, but the rebound put back up and in. Nicely done that time by Victor Dean.
Yeah, you've got to box out. You have to rebound because one of the strengths of Lincoln is they love to attack the glass on every shot. They'll send at least 2 guys, maybe 3, to crash the offensive glass.
Strong rebound and holding his pivot foot, losing all 6'8". Boy, that was an athletic play, and quickly down the lane, and that foul is going to be called against St. Francis, and that's Norman Powell, who we talked about, the 6'3", 175-pound junior, averaging 19 points per game, considered one of the best in his class in the country.
Yeah, a lot of college scouts in the building tonight to watch Mr. Powell. 12 games this year with over 20 points. We've already seen in the first 2 possessions how he likes to create tempo. Off the bounce, off the dribble, maybe a little bit of a forced shot on the first possession, but that time in transition, the open floor, he's extremely dangerous.
Free throw up and good. Again, just underway here in the boys' Division II State Basketball Championship presented by Farmers Insurance. State basketball titles will resume in California. Attack of the basket that time. And we're going to have some free throws coming. There is Jason Bryant doing such a fine job for San Diego. Lincoln High School, that free throw off the mark.
St. Francis, that time offensively, they will look to push and create tempo, Paul. And when they do, they have to make sure they give themselves an opportunity to get a clean look. You don't want to push it in tempo and then not get a clean look at the hoop.
There's Lamont McCoy missing those free throws. He's back out at the point, working around the screen. Kick left side, little flat jump shot, rebound taken, and here comes Lincoln. Lincoln with numbers, running 2-on-1. Hard foul, count the basket. What a beautiful play that time by Tyree Robinson.
Just like you draw it up if you're coach. Get out in the open floor. This is what they don't want to play in the half court. They don't want to allow St. Francis to set it up. And that time, soft touch off the glass. And you see him shield with his body, kept his head on a balance. Able to knock it down and try to complete the three-point play.
Well, Robinson does so, and Lincoln out quickly. They're up a touchdown already, 7-0.
Dangerous pass.
McCoy quickly out of the backcourt. The pull-up jumper, not there. That missed that time by Spencer Brisky, the 5'11", 155-pound senior for St. Francis. And St. Francis now applying some full-court pressure. Roshan Simpson bringing the ball out of the backcourt, has it deflected away and off the turnover. Still looking for their first basket. Brisky pull-up jumper off the front of the iron.
Nice job creating the turnover. You had a numbers situation. I would look to attack the rim rather than pulling up for a jump shot.
An army of subs for St. Francis just walked past us. Nice little drop pass laid up off the back of the iron. So St. Francis has had some opportunities to shake off the butterflies, but can't get anything to fall. Crossover dribble, and going to the free throw line once again will be Powell.
And here comes the line change of hockey. I mean, look at this. All five
line
guys
change is only 3.
Well, look, they got a whole line change here. It's in basketball a little bit different, Paul, but you got 5 subs coming off the bench, and that is the strength of St. Francis without question. The sheer numbers. They've got 9 seniors. They rotate in maybe as many as 10 or 11 guys. They want to get all of them playing time, as we heard in the feature, early in this game. And this is something that Dan knows a great deal about, right, Dan?
Yeah, gentlemen, what they do is they balance their 5s in the first half. Even 5 for even 5. Coach Motil really focuses on who finishes games, not who starts games. Hopefully for St. Francis, this second 5 can do a little bit more than the first 5 did.
Second free throw on the way, and soft bounce is there. Lincoln leading 9-0 so far over St. Francis, and both teams applying some full court pressure. We'll set the lineups for you when we have a minute. This Tyler Johnson down the lane, gets hammered to the floor, and that's going to be 2 free throws coming. Good attack of the rim.
Well, the number one thing you do when you're going against a shot blocker, and that's exactly what Nathan Maxey is. He averages about 4.5 block shots per game. You go right after him. You don't try to fade away from the contact. Don't be afraid to get hit. And that time, a nice job by Johnson attacking the rim, drawing the foul. And finally, they get on the scoreboard.
No question about the foul. Some basketball, yes, but some face, some arm, some shoulder.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. And both free throws up and good. And finally, St. Francis on the scoreboard.
flies are very common in games like this. They all realize the significance. This is their final game of the season. Win or lose, this is it. One team will walk out of here a winner and a state champion. The other one will be walking around thinking, what if?
Nice two-man game that time. Tyree Robinson finding Victor Dean for the pull-up jump shot. Boy, that was well executed.
Dean, a very good mid-range shooter for Lincoln.
Robinson kick into the corner, pull-up jumper not there. Rebound taken that time by Robinson. If you're just joining us, this is the boys Division II state championship. Attack of the basket, lots of contact, still no follow, and St. Francis dodged one there. Kick left side, Wang looking for the three. Boy, both teams playing up tempo there, running up and down.
Look out.
And now,
that's travel. That's a travel. How was that not a travel?
It was a travel.
And I told the officials when they came by that every call they were going to make was going to be a good one tonight. Well, that one was not.
You can bobble, but there's got to be a deflection in between. That was clearly a travel, but that one by the board still early on, just inside of 4:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Lincoln on top, 13-2. Robinson working off the screen, and LaShawn Simpson complains on the call, but easy play to call.
Lincoln's going to get after you defensively. They're going to pressure man-to-man you all over the floor. They're going to try to trap you in the once on made buckets. They'll give you a press. They're going to try to trap in the corner, try to create turnovers to foster the tempo they want. Right now, St. Francis seems very comfortable at pushing the ball up the floor. The problem is they haven't had a lot of good looks, and they found themselves down by 11.
Drew Dickey on the floor now, along with Chris Cheng, Drew Silver. Trap along the sideline, and Dawkins turns it over. Lincoln into the front court, pull-up jumper. Boy, that was a very, very flat jumper taken that time. Good effort by Wang, bringing the ball on the court to Dawkins. Dawkins trapped and loses it once again. Frantic pace. Charger block. That's going to be a blocking call called against Tim Wang, and it's going to be free throws coming to Powell.
Back-to-back possessions, though, where Sean Dawkins has turned the ball over twice, and this time Powell, who really was kind of out of control on the play, but one of the things that he does as well as anybody in the state is drawing contact and getting to the free throw line. The number of attempts that he has on a consistent basis has worn out teams over the long haul of the season. And also what it does is you become less aggressive and you become a little more flat-footed, gapping up a little bit, and that opens up the mid-range, the perimeter shot, or maybe the ability to hesitate, dribble, and cross over and get to the rim.
I know it's very early, but what I've seen so far on a couple of very flat jump shots, one from the right baseline and one from the left, I would back way off and try to make him beat you from the outside. A superb athlete and really accomplished player. Kick into the corner, Wang with it, back outside, three-pointer on the way and good. That was knocked down by Crowley, Patrick Crowley from St. Francis. Now it's a 15-5 game. Kevin Smith now on the floor at number 2 in green, and that's going to be a turnover on the perimeter called against Lincoln. Just underway here at the boys state Division II title in Bakersfield. Lincoln on top of St. Francis. Lincoln leading it 15-5, and want to take you to last week at the Galen Center. Beautiful, still relatively new building, the home of Trojan basketball. It was Lincoln and Compton. Compton led 28-22 at the half, but then Lincoln went on a tear, scoring 27 points in the third quarter, including a 16-6 run to start the half. Victor Dean led the Hornets with 19 points. Norman Powell added 15 points and 9 rebounds, and Lincoln came out on top 60-52, and they would be headed to play for the state title. Mentioned their road previously, but worth revisiting. Over Hoover, then Summit and Pasadena, an easy game, and then Compton in the Southern California finals. They won that 60-52 under their fine head coach Jason Bryant.
And they haven't lost to this calendar year. In fact, that game against Compton, they avenged their last loss, which was December 30th. It was one of only 2 losses on the season for Lincoln. And you mentioned that third quarter. How streaky were they in that game? They hit 12 of 16 shots in that quarter, including 6 threes.
Good, beautiful shot down the middle, knocked in by Fresno State-bound Tyler Johnson.
So the back-to-back possessions where we've seen St. Francis get some made buckets. 4 minutes and 13 seconds is how long it took for them to score their first made field goal. So now back-to-back buckets, do they get that confidence? Do they exhale a little bit?
And out of bounds, back-to-back turnovers, empty possessions for Lincoln. Again, wearing the green uniforms out of San Diego.
And here comes the press, Paul. And a nice job flashing up on the opposite side by Wang. But you've got to be very strong with the basketball. You know they're going to be hawking from behind.
Crowley takes it all the way to the basket, not there. Good opportunity missed, and Tyrell Robinson with the rebound. John Simpson with it, wearing number 3 in green with the headband. Lays it up, not there. Battle for the rebound. Nicely done that time. In traffic, taken by Johnson. St. Francis not backing down from the pace at all. That's Britsky with a high dribble. Lincoln leading it 15-7, 2.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. As you pointed out, Sean, Lincoln led 9-0. Kick out, three-pointer on the way off the side of the iron. Wang with the offensive rebound, head fake. Britsky with a 17-footer, not there. Wang in among the trees, and nice rebound taken that time by Simpson.
One of my notes that I watched when I was watching St. Francis doing the preparation, Tim Wang, 6'1", but plays a lot larger than his stature, is always active on the offensive end. We saw his hands get on the ball a couple of times in that last possession for St. Francis.
Attack of the basket, the ball comes loose, and it is going to be deflected and out of bounds. 18 to shoot. Lincoln will be inbounding. Coming on the floor now for St. Francis, Robert Bates, 6'2" senior forward. Joshua Smith, 6'4", 170-pound junior in green, number 21 on now for Lincoln. Powell with it, straightaway jump shot, a line drive and knocked down. Says Paul, don't tell me my shot's too flat.
It was still a little flat there on the projection.
It's too flat.
Yeah, but more effective, had a little bit more legs on it. What happened that time, he didn't fade away. He was on balance, went straight up and down.
Johnson on the dribble, kicks to Wang, attacking the basket, maybe afraid of some of the shot blocking, and a foul going over the top is going to be called against St. Francis. No on the tip-in opportunity. Excuse me, that's going to be Bates begging to go to the free throw line, not ruled a controlled tip, so it'll be St. Francis basketball with a fresh 35-second shot clock. 1:34 remaining in the quarter. Surprise, surprise. Patrick Crowley not quite ready for that. Shot on the way, off the back of the iron, not there. Missed by Johnson.
Now you've seen Lincoln have to play in their half-court set a little bit.
Way long three-pointer. I know they're wearing green uniforms, but that young man's got the green light as well. Nice little up fake. Down inside, shot is blocked that time by Robinson. Good play by Bates defensively. Ball is loose. St. Francis scrapping, and they come away with it.
They got to knock down some shots. They'll be right back into this game.
Britsky off the front of the iron. Britsky, he's got the green light too, and knocks down that three-pointer, and that makes it 18-10. 45 seconds remaining in the quarter.
A strong finish here in the first quarter by St. Francis. They seem to be gaining some confidence. And look at how they're forcing Lincoln to have to go against their half-court defense, which is one of the strengths of this team.
And St. Francis has gone to a matchup zone. Skip pass into the corner. Jump shot off the perimeter, not there. Battling for the rebound. Should be and is St. Francis basketball. Shot missed down to the corner once again by Powell.
And the shot clock is off. So once St. Francis, if they can break the press, you should hold it for your final shot and make sure you get a good clean look. You don't want to be down double digits here after the first quarter. But a nice job rallying after an extremely slow start. It was 15-2, and now we've got ourselves an 18-10 game.
Good job breaking the press, I was about to say, but then they turned it over in the front court. Javante Bird takes advantage of the turnover, not waiting for the final shot. And why not? Flinging up a three-pointer. Victor Dean knocks down the triple.
Well, what I said is you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to be down by 10 after the first quarter, and 2 consecutive turnovers has given an opportunity now for Lincoln to maybe even add more points to what is already an 11-point lead. That's how important taking care of the basketball is. In situations, especially championship games, the team that values the ball will most likely give themselves the opportunity to win the game. And for St. Francis, you can't match up athletically with Lincoln. you have to realize that even once you break the press, someone is going to be coming from behind. Someone is going to be hawking that ball, trying to take it away from you.
Timeout is taken. Lincoln head coach Jason Bryant wants to take advantage of this final 3-10. So 3/10. It's got to be a tip. Can't be a catch and shoot. Lop, and that'll do it. Time will expire by rule. End of the first quarter, and Lincoln again out to a 9-0, 15-2 start. And behind Victor Dean and Norman Powell, Lincoln off and running in the opening quarter, leading 21. Back in Bakersfield once again, this is the CIF State Division II Boys Basketball Championship, proudly presented by Farmers Insurance. Paul Sunderland with former UCLA Bruin Sean Farmer, and Victor Dean, who was big in the Southern California Championships, as we mentioned, along with Powell, having a nice first quarter.
Yeah, very active, all over the floor, doing it in a variety of ways, spotting up for the three, knocking it down, 4 for 4 from the field in the opening quarter for 9 points. And one of the other aspects I was talking about was Norman Powell getting to the free throw line and just how important that is. He's only 1 for 5 shooting so far in the game, but 6 of 6 at the charity stripe. 6 free throw attempts. He's on pace for 24 free throw attempts on the game. I mean, that's what Powell, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but I was able to figure that one out. And so both those guys off to a great start. And Victor Dean is a guy that played extremely well in the Southern California Championships, and it's carried over to the opening quarter.
We saw some matchup zone the last couple of possessions from St. Francis. You think we'll see more of that?
They better. I think it's been successful because it can keep Lincoln off the offensive glass. They haven't had many second chance opportunities since that opening possession.
Beautiful block by Nathan Maxey, and at the other end, scoring is Tyree Robinson.
Well, you've got to turn around and identify the ball. Number one responsibility as a defensive player is to stop the ball and keep it out of the paint. Both teams, neither one of them want to do it right now.
Tyler Johnson, the 6'2", 170-pound senior lefty, attacking the rim and getting a much-needed basket for St. Francis. St. Francis ranked number 12 in the state. Lincoln at number 19. Can that be right? Risky coming off the wing. And up high, no, and off the weak side. Very poor transition defense that time by Lincoln. Just did not bother getting back.
Did not hustle back defensively. And again, made buckets is so key to St. Francis, shooting only 17% in the opening quarter, because they have got to start making some shots, not just to try to cut into this lead, just so they can get back defensively in transition, because athletically, they just don't match up with Lincoln.
And as we thought, here's this 2-3 zone that they matched up out of.
Look at the patience that they're having to show right now. Very uncharacteristic for Lincoln. They don't want to play in the half court.
Bates with a strong rebound. St. Francis representing Northern California, the home team in white. Spin move, wild jump shot. Is that too quick a shot by St. Francis?
Very, very much so, Paul. You've got to be able to work it. Make Lincoln work in their half-court sets. Have they proven that they want to play defense for more than 5 seconds? They want this game to go up and down. I understand St. Francis is a team that scores, over 60 points a game. They want to push the tempo. But sometimes you have to realize who your opponent is. And sometimes maybe you have to adjust that just a little bit. I'm not saying they got to slow the game down, but at least in the half-court set, make a couple of passes. Make Lincoln slide side to side defensively and see what kind of shot you can get.
Javonte Bird on now playing the point, wearing number 1. Nice pull-up jump shot that time by Tyree Robinson.
And an unforced error right there, Two of the Lancers standing between each other. The ball bounces right between them. No contact, no eye contact, no communication. St. Francis right now is really starting to lack a little bit of that swagger that I've seen out of them over the course of this season.
Mike Motil, the head coach for St. Francis, looking for some answers, and the shot clock had not started. 5:57 remaining, and both clocks had not started. Good work by the officials noticing that, and they will reset. The officials are Dave Alegria, Frank Peters, and Eddie Shannon.
They're going to bring the shot clock down to 31. This officiating crew all over it. In the state championship, the best officials in the state get the opportunity to come on down to Bakersfield. You're usually in Sacramento this time of year, along the river, enjoying the beautiful state capital, but this time down at Bakersfield, a great facility.
Down inside, miss on the dunk, but it's going to be free throws coming.
And you look at a player like Nathan Maxey, it's 6'10", 210 pounds, great athlete. You see him on the catch, a nice little crab dribble and explodes up to the rim and tries to complete it. He's not necessarily a great offensive player still, and a lot of big guys struggle from time to time with their footwork and understanding how to utilize their body and their strength. But Maxey's one of those guys, as he continues to blossom and grow, he has a great potential because defensively he's a great rebounder and a great shot blocker.
In between free throws, let's send it over to the sidelines to Dan Dibbler.
Yeah, Sean, you talked about Sacramento. This is actually a perfect neutral court for these two schools. Lincoln from San Diego, what a great student section they brought. And I'm standing down here in front of the St. Francis section. They brought 300 students by bus. Look at this madhouse here. It's the Rage Cage. These kids came here not only to win, but they came to cheer their lungs out. Great atmosphere here in Bakersfield, guys.
That ball deflected off of St. Francis, and on the turnover, Lincoln will have it once again.
Turnovers are one of those keys that coaches just stats. You immediately look to it and go, okay, what are the turnovers looking like for us? Okay, not good. All right, and as soon as you say not good, you know that your team's put itself in a hole. Great defense that time.
Good pass into the sweet spot. Bresky throws the ball on the court and off the miss, put up no. And at point blank range, and then compounding matters, Maxey frustrated that he missed the layup and is also called for the foul.
You got to keep your composure. The big fella there, get a little extra knee in the back. You got to make sure you missed the shot. All right, you might have got fouled a little bit, but you get your opportunities. And for St. Francis, I like the scrappiness we're starting to see out of them. They're starting to get a little bit more bounce in their legs. They came out so flat-footed. I mean, defensively, offensively, just everything was just flat-footed. Seemed like they were down a little bit. Their energy level is starting to improve.
Boy, Bates just took the ball right in at Maxey, who was pretty flat-footed at the defensive end. So Maxey, the 6'10" starting center for Lincoln, picks up a couple fouls in about 5 seconds time. And Jason Bryant will have to be concerned about that, as Bates will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Third year on varsity for Robert Bates. And the size across the board for St. Francis is very small. And not a lot of height, not a lot of guys that are 6'6" or taller, 6'7", 6'8". No trees really out on the floor. So they do it collectively. They can interchange parts offensively, bring you inside and out. And Bates is one of those guys. He likes to play with his back to the basket, yet he's only 6'2".
Second of 2 free throws, good. Lincoln has led from the opening tip. They led it 9-0, 15-2. Powell on the jump shot from the perimeter. And Bresky tracks down the rebound for St. Francis.
Well, the pass through the legs right there. That's a nifty little look.
Right through the wickets of Victor Dean. Nice up fake that time. Attacking. Counts if it goes. It does. Tim Wang.
Tim Wang, to me, is the energy, the heart, and the leader out on the floor. And watching this team throughout the course of the year, when he's aggressive and when he attacks, the teammates respond around him. You see that time, how strong it was. And this pass, they call that a nutmeg in soccer. Did you know that? When you kick the ball through, but they call it a nutmeg.
I'm glad to know that.
I'm just saying, I'm a man of many different hats.
Jump shot against the zone. That knocked down successfully by Victor Dean. Dean is a nice-looking player. 6'6", 210-pound senior, averaging 14 points per game, 9 points in the opening quarter. Bates has that stripped away once again. Powell attacks the rim, lays it up and in.
You see how smooth he is in the open floor. That's why he is so dangerous in transition, and so many different universities are interested in him.
Probably maybe 100.
Maybe more.
Powell with the rebound, has numbers, and kicks it off to Dean, who got in the air. Not great decisions, but Lincoln had so many numbers. They could bobble that fast break and still score it. They lead it now 33-18.
And again, those turnovers lead to open looks, back-to-back possessions where you turn the ball over, you play right into Lincoln's hands and allow them to create tempo and get out and have number situations.
Johnson looking to split the defense, goes right down the lane off the back of the iron. Here comes Powell once again. Powell with numbers and throws that one away and going the other end. Wang thought about the three, skip pass. Rusty, that's going to come up way short. Comes right back to it. And, you know, they say the closer you are to the basket, the better the odds.
A little bit higher percentage shot that time, and a nifty little dribble behind his back. Set him up, squared his feet, got both underneath him. Able to knock it down. A 13-point lead. I think right now, if you're St. Francis, you want to get this to under 10 going to the break. You don't want to be down by 10 or more going to the break right now. And it sounds like a broken record. In order to do that, you got to start taking care of the ball.
St. Francis exclusively zone here in the second quarter. Good ball movement, attacking the basket and throwing it down is Powell. Norman Powell lighting it up.
And this game is in danger of running away right now from St. Francis in the first half. A good decision this time to kind of set things up in the half-court set. But not a lot of movement. Look, everybody's stagnant out on the floor. Pass the ball. You do it off the dribble or do it off the pass. People got to be moving.
Wang, three-pointer, throws it off of the Lincoln defender. That was after Victor Dean. So when we come back, Tim Wang, headed for MIT, will have the ball along with his St. Francis teammates. Hey, the kid that threw it through the legs, he's the one that ought to be going to MIT. We'll be back. Lincoln leading it 35-20 over St. Francis. Back in Bakersfield once again, Lincoln of San Diego playing St. Francis out of Northern California for the boys Division II State Basketball Championship presented by Farmers Insurance. Paul Sunderland with Sean Farnham, and it has been all Lincoln so far. 9-0 and 15-2 leads. They led after the opening quarter 21-10, led 26-17, 33-18, and are now on top by 15. I agree with you, Sean. This is on the verge of becoming a blowout. St. Francis has got to do something very positive in this last minute, 50 seconds. Wild looking shot there, battle for the rebound, nicely done. And a long three-pointer off the front of the iron, tipped up and in. And ahead of the pack, boy, you cannot blink. St. Francis over the end line, good hustle getting back. But give the tip at the other end to Drew Dickey for St. Francis.
And he's the one man of stature and size on the team at 6'5". Shorter than 3 inches, I think there. 6'8".
Far be it from me.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Spot up jump shot not there. Battle for the rebound. It's not a stop until you control the defensive board. And Lincoln with a fresh shot clock. And that's a bump foul. Easy to call. That's going to be called against James Osorio. He gets the personal foul. And now St. Francis is over the limit. Both teams from St. Francis and Lincoln will be shooting 1 plus the penalty, at least for the remainder of the half.
Mr. Robinson had a nice game earlier this year against Parker in San Diego where he dropped 25 points. So that's an explosiveness that we see out of Lincoln. They've got different guys that can step up on different nights and really flourish.
Attack of the rim, not there. Dickey can't get the tip to follow, and Lincoln with it once again quickly into the front court. Javante Bird, and spinning out of control. The ball is stripped away.
Three-pointer here would make it a 10-point lead, and as I said, you want to get it to 10 or less going to the break.
Sean Dawkins, again, son of head coach at Stanford. Johnny Dawkins now on the floor wearing number 12. And a sub coming back on. Keep me busy, keep me on my toes, Sean.
So they just keep them coming. You don't have to worry about fresh legs for St. Francis. They're going to continually bring them one after another, one after another, one after another. And they're going to hopefully find the right combination. I think that's a little bit of what they're doing right now is who are the guys that actually wants to come out here, who's going to step up to the challenge and start playing Lancer basketball.
Pull-up jump shot off the wing. That nicely made by Osorio. So Osorio getting his nose in on some loose balls and also playing some defense, having a contribution.
The defense, nice job rotating.
Attack once again, miss on the layup. Can't control the rebound. Bird down inside. Should hold for the final shot, but do not. That's a push-off, yeah, no question. Easy play to call.
Yeah, Tim Lang right there with the clear push in the back, and that's going to send Norman Powell to the free throw line, and that's the dangerous part of playing a team like Lincoln. And the Hornets do such a nice job collectively going after the ball. Second, third, even fourth opportunities in a single possession.
It's always one of the weaknesses out of the zone. You got to find a way to match up out of it. Bird takes it in. That's an easy play to call as well. That's an offensive foul. Stepping in, taking the contact for St. Francis. That was number 24 in white, Tyler Johnson. So both teams not exactly making the most intelligent decision right now at both ends, clearly. Some quick shots, and then that was wait for the final shot.
Yeah, Bird a little bit out of control, but Lincoln isn't a team that seems to worry about time and possession. You know, they don't look at the scoreboard, go 13 seconds left, we're up by 10. Let's go to the break with at least a double-digit lead, pull it back out, and try to work the clock down. They're on go at all times. I think they have so much confidence, too, in their defense, they can create turnovers.
Bresky thought about the three. Run off of that. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Bresky trying to go one-on-one against Powell. Throws it up off the board, not there. And that is the end of the first quarter. The first half, excuse me. First quarter, I was about to say Lincoln on top 21-10. And now, Sean, they lead at 35-25.
But a 10-point deficit right now is not a bad situation for St. Francis to be in, considering where they were midway through that quarter.
Let's send it over courtside now to Dan Dibley.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, Mike Motil, things not as bad as they could have been. What do you say to the team here in the locker room?
Well, we're just going to go out and keep playing hard, you know, and hopefully we'll make some shots. We're getting a lot of good looks. We're just not making them. And we got to do a better job of rebounding. You know, we might have to go big here a little bit and hopes of rebounding the basketball a little bit better. But, you know, we talked about rebounding the basketball being a key tonight and making shots in the pregame. And we haven't made shots. And we're not doing a very good job of rebounding the ball. So we got to come out this half and do that a whole lot better.
Looked like defensively the switch to a zone slowed them down a little bit. Do you think you'll stick with that in the second half?
I don't know. We'll talk about it at halftime. I'm sure we'll mix it in. Maybe we'll try to mix it up a little bit and kind of go from there.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Mike Motil trailing at the half. We're going to step aside, come back, and speak to the mayor of Bakersfield, Harvey Hall, and bring you the second half here from Rabobank in Bakersfield.
Halftime here in Bakersfield, the CIF State Division II Boys Basketball Championships, and Lincoln out of San Diego on top of St. Francis from Northern California. 35-25. Multitude of games going on here today in Bakersfield. Price out of Southern California, St. Mary's from NorCal, Alan Crabb with a dunk. And then Crabb with a long three-pointer there, and then you get the idea. I'll tell you, the Crabb catchers were in full effect. And Price wins it over St. Mary's from Berkeley. They are the Division IV Boys Championship. Alan Crabb will be headed to play for University of California.
Back here in Bakersfield for the CIF High School Basketball Championships presented by Farmers. We're at the half. Lincoln with a 10-point lead. I'm Dan Dibley alongside Jason Bryant, coach of Lincoln. Coach, 10-point lead at the half. What'd you say to the boys in the locker room?
I think we're being out tough. I think St. Francis is taking it. It took it to us that second quarter. I think they're being tougher than us. They're out-rebounding us on the offensive glass. And, you know, I told them we're not going to win if we don't rebound, if we don't defensive rebound. I mean, it's plain and simple. We're being out tough.
Athletically, looks like you have a clear edge and you had a bigger lead. What happened in that second quarter?
I think St. Francis gained confidence in that second quarter, and we didn't respond. You know, I think they started knocking us around a little bit, and we didn't respond to their physicality, and you know they were able to close the gap, and we just need to be more physical in this second half.
St. Francis went zone on you in the second quarter. Looked like you had a little trouble adjusting. Any offensive wrinkle you'll put in here in the second half?
We just need to attack the rim. We're taking too many outside jump shots. We're settling for long shots, and we don't have to. I think that if we can get in the gaps in their zone and attack the rim, you know, we're more athletic, so we need to take advantage of that. We need to get to the bucket and make plays at the bucket.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Paul, Sean?
All right, Dan, thank you very much. You know, that's exactly it. I thought everything that Jason Bryant, the head coach for Lincoln, said was absolutely dead on. And it's a 10-point lead. It could be 22 or 25.
Easily could have been, and they really got away from what helped them become successful in the first quarter, where they were able to build up a deficit, or lead rather, of 10 points. And it's points in the paint, and they did settle for too many outside shots. And I was kind of surprised by that because of some of the size, the athleticism that they have. I really thought that they used us a little bit more isolation, maybe some ball screens. We didn't see a lot of that in the first half. We can maybe free up somebody to get that clear lane to the hoop and get an easy bucket.
You said in the first half, and rightfully so, that St. Francis didn't have any trees. I finally thought of it. They got a bunch of little bonsais. That's all they got.
Well, they're tough. I mean, just because they don't have big ones doesn't mean that they're not tough.
Bonsais are tough.
Yeah,
they're tough.
They're resilient trees.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
very resilient.
You can tape them back together, and sometimes they work out just fine. And I think that that's what you have to do here if you're St. Francis. Tape up your tree at the half and realize you shot 8 more shots than Lincoln. You out-rebounded them on the offensive glass. What does it mean? Hit some shots. I mean, it's plain and simple. You can't shoot 25% from the field in a state championship game and expect to win. They have to find better looks. Don't just settle, because I think they rush their shots as well.
I agree with all of that. And the pace certainly favored Lincoln, and a lot of that was off of early turnovers and then getting out into the open floor and letting their game take over. And we talked about it, Sean. St. Francis got off to a dreadful start.
A dreadful start, and the turnovers led to easy offense. And you see Powell so silky smooth. He had 13 in the first half, able to finish at the rim. And then, oh yes, Mr. Dean with a nice dump off. As there, Joshua Smith is there to finish. Tyler Johnson has been the lone bright spot, though, for St. Francis. The Lance are struggling to shoot the ball, but he's 3 of 8 from the field. 8 points, 4 rebounds. And the only Lancer so far that has really become an aggressive scoring option and scoring threat.
You mentioned the field goal percentage numbers.
That.
For
that
St.
number
Francis.
right there is something that has got to change for the percentage. Field goal percentage, 25%. 3-point field goal percentage, too many looks. 14 3-pointers for St. Francis. Get it into the paint. The rebounding battle, -6. That's not that big of a differential considering the athleticism that we've seen from Lincoln.
And so often we talk about the first 2 or 3 or 4 minutes of a second half. Vitally important for St. Francis to get back in, because they're teetering, I think, right on the edge.
Well, I think they are. They're living on the edge right now. Now they've got to play with that confidence, that swagger. I think Tim Wang is the guy that really has got to light a fire under the Lancers, because if they don't and they come out flat here, they could get blitzed.
All right, we'll be back with the second half right after this. Thanks for joining us for the boys Division II State Basketball Championships from Bakersfield. Lincoln leading at 35-25. Welcome back once again to the CIF State Basketball Championships, presented proudly by Farmers Insurance. Getting ready for the second half. This is boys Division II. The leading scorers will have Division I for you tomorrow. The leading scorers, Powell, Dean, and Robinson, and then Johnson, as you so rightly pointed out, Tyler Johnson, the only real threat so far for St. Francis. Spencer Brisky, a good 3-point shooter, 1 for 11.
Yeah, 1 for 11 from the field. He has got to find a rhythm here in the second half. If not, he's got to find a teammate. Sometimes you got to realize maybe tonight's not my night to shoot. Maybe tonight's not my night to score. Let me see what else I can do to help my team maybe get back in this game. A good way to do that is to come out on your opening possession and get a stop if you're St. Francis. And good patience right now by Lincoln. As Coach said, they don't want to just jack up shots from the perimeter. They're very patient in this half-court set.
St. Francis looks to be playing a little man-to-man down along the baseline, and with 6 seconds left on the shot clock, Lincoln will have it once again. Lincoln, the road team in the green uniform. St. Francis, obviously in the white.
6 seconds left to go on the shot clock, and I really thought on that ball screen that Victor Dean should have rolled to the hoop instead of popping out for a perimeter shot.
Oh, backdoor cut wide open, and that shot tipped away by Johnson. The follow not there. A pretty good save that time on a sure basket by Tyler Johnson, but again, St. Francis not cleaning it up.
Well, nice backdoor cut, allows the open lane and unable to finish, and then the foul on the second go-around because of the offensive rebound. And so tough for St. Francis to play defense as well as they did for a majority of that possession. Then on the out of bounds underneath to fall asleep, a great execution by Lincoln. Out of bounds underneath, the UOBs, as I like to say, underneath out of bounds. They've got to execute and find ways to get some points. And Lincoln that time created the opportunity to get to the free throw line.
First free throw up and good for Dean. The 6'6", 210-pound senior, averaging 14 points per game. That one rattles in and out, and the rebound controlled by Pat Crowley for St. Francis. Good attack of the rim, going up high and rejected. That shot knocked away by Nathan Maxey. On the turnover, Brisky with it for St. Francis. Pull-up jump shot. That missed by Osorio. Osorio getting the start in the second half. Showed some real good energy and toughness for St. Francis. And attack of the basket counts if it goes. It does. Nice hang that time in the first points of the second half by Powell.
You know, let's go back a couple possessions ago. I love the aggressiveness. Challenge the shot blocker, go after him. At that time, the shot blocker was able to win out. And then Powell at the other end, his strength and his toughness going towards the rim. He struggled in the second quarter, not getting to the free throw line. Had 6 free throw attempts in the first quarter, only 1 in the second, and then misses the front end on that one.
Tyler Johnson picked up the personal foul, and now some full court pressure.
They'll call out the offensive set, try to work some of their motion and screening away from the ball. Try to free up some weak side looks offensively.
Bates left all alone and comfortably makes a 17-footer.
And Bates was the screener on the weak side for Johnson. They were trying to free up Johnson, and then the defense shifted, and he was wide open, able to catch, and just knock down that wide open jump shot.
Now back in the zone is St. Francis. Skip pass, good attack of the rim, but blocked from behind by Bates. Bates got a piece of it, and Pat Crowley controls the rebound.
Going up the passing game offense, a lot of motion here.
Bates, that one's going to be well wide right, but a good look at it. Johnson saves the ball on the floor, but off the sideline. That was Crowley with the save.
And their motion offense right now, especially on the weak side, is causing a lot of problems for Lincoln. That's back-to-back possessions where Bates had a wide open shot. The first one he hit, the second one not so much. But as long as you work that weak side, I think there's going to be opportunities to get good quality looks for St. Francis.
Stepping through the zone, laying it up almost in, and it's going to be 2 more free throws coming to the attacking Norman Powell.
And remember, the third quarter is where Lincoln really exploded in the Southern California championship game, outscoring Compton 27-10, making 12 of their 16 shots. So they're a team that comes out of the break very focused, they're well coached, and they listen to their head coach and execute very well coming out of the break. And obviously one of the keys early going was to get that toughness back out there for the Hornets. And Powell, back-to-back possessions, able to get to the free throw line.
Tim Wang back on for St. Francis. Second free throw on the way and good for Powell. Had a quick look there at Jason Bryant when he was over on the sideline beginning of the second half with our Dan Dibley. I really was impressed with everything he had to say. They were out tough. We weren't working. Here he was up 10 points. And I thought everything he had to say was right on point. On the turnover, slam dunk that time by Powell. Careless play by St. Francis and a timeout taken. Mike Motil has seen enough. The 30-3 St. Francis Lancers, currently ranked number 12 in the state, now down by 14.
Well, you have to be tough with the ball against the press. If you're weak with it, then you're going to struggle. And a prime example of that is a sloppy pass leads to an easy offensive look, and Powell able to show some of his athleticism as he sneaks in on the baseline, and you see why so many college scouts are enamored with what he brings to the table because of his toughness, whether it's the athleticism to get up in the rim or whether it's getting to the free throw line and using his length to really create some havoc defensively in the passing lanes.
Let's take a look at Lincoln High School, courtesy of Google Earth. The school was established in 1995, located in southeast San Diego, an enrollment of 2,700. Their mascot, as you just mentioned, Sean, is the Hornets, named after President Abraham Lincoln. Interesting note, the most expensive campus in San Diego Unified School District history, $129 million. The school gym is called the Hive.
Look at this list.
Yeah, Marcus Allen.
TD. That's a great list right there.
And carrying on the strong tradition, I remembered Marcus Allen, and I still do. One of the great players ever, of course, at USC, and won a Super Bowl MVP with the Raiders, was he not?
Oh. Yeah, and you look at Davis, and I really thought that Davis, if he would have remained healthy, he was a Hall of Famer. I mean, the numbers he was putting up. And John Elway doesn't have a Super Bowl without TD in his backfield.
5:28 remaining here in the third quarter. Second half just underway between Lincoln of San Diego in green and St. Francis of Northern California. Ball under with Sean Farnham.
Beautiful
over the
cut.
top. Timing it out and didn't get a piece of it, but intimidated that. And the ball stolen away by Wang once again and stolen right back by Lincoln.
Grab a loose ball. Don't try to dribble it. Sloppy play right now by both teams.
Kick ahead, and Gretzky, who was 1 for 11 in the opening half. Cardinal mistake. Catch the basketball, set your feet. He already had that shot in the air and let it go off his hands out of bounds. That ball almost stolen, and now Lincoln with numbers. Right down the lane, the floater not there, tip not there, battle for the rebound. Rosario comes loose and put back up and in.
What happened?
Tyree Robinson.
You gamble at the defensive end of the floor, you give up numbers, and then you're scrambling. And sometimes when you scramble, it's very difficult to match up and find guys that are trying to attack the defensive glass.
Gretzky in and out, but good follow that time by Pat Crowley, number 22 in white. 14-point advantage still for Lincoln. They led it 21-10 after the opening period and 35-25 at the half.
Lincoln much more deliberate with their offense here in the second half.
Boy, that is just a good, strong offensive play. Victor Dean looking for the and one.
And watch the jump here on the press.
And another turnover. And having to take the foul that time is Tyler Johnson. So it'll be free throws coming to Lincoln High School. That foul is going to be on Pat Crowley. And going to the free throw line, Robinson once again.
Now watch this. This is how you spring a trap. Okay, both these guys right here are going to trap and pressure up. And when you do that, you have to have good rotation on your backside. And because of that, you see that the pressure and nobody's coming back to the ball. St. Francis has got to come back to the ball and realize when the trap comes, you've got to come create the space. You've got to find the open area and call for it loud. If you stay back on your heels, they're going to pick you apart.
Rosario finding some space in the zone, and we're going between the legs once again. That was Gretzky keeping that play alive.
Johnson, nice hesitation.
Johnson attacking, and the foul will be called, no question about that, on Rashawn Simpson. And it'll be 2 free throws coming to Tyler Johnson. Mentioned in the first half, will be headed to play at Fresno State next year.
Well, one of the things he did there is a lost art, a simple jab step. A jab step on the perimeter kind of freezes up the defense just for a second. Then he was able to go right to his left hand and get to the hole and get to the free throw line. And that's one of the things that players, you know, it's pass fake, a shot fake, a jab step, a lost art in the game of basketball. Everybody's so quick to get the catch and immediately put it on the floor and try to do something with it.
Both free throws up and good for St. Francis's Tyler Johnson. And we will step aside. Third quarter, 3:55 left in the period, and Lincoln leading it by.
Let's make somebody else beat us besides
St. Francis out of Northern California trying to find some answers around their head coach Mike Motil, trailing by 16 against Lincoln. And now time to, courtesy of Google Earth, I guess a good part of the country for Google up in the Bay Area. Established in 1955, location is Mountain View in Santa Clara, County. Enrollment is 1,600. Mascot is the Lancers. Still wondering if tuition at 13 grand is a fun fact, but so it says.
Maybe not for some of the parents.
Megan MacArthur is a NASA astronaut, so a very proud alumna. John Gall, a member of the 2008 U.S. Olympic baseball team, and Eric Burns plays for the Seattle Mariners.
And what a great league they're part of. When you look at the West Catholic Athletic League, some of the great high schools traditionally in the city. My father went to Sacred Heart in San Francisco. His brother went to Reardon. My high school basketball coach went to Reardon. St. Ignatius is great. My cousin went there. Bellarmine, I had another cousin that went there. I'm all over the West Catholic Athletic League. I didn't go there. I was part of the BVAL.
You're over my head now. So
That's okay.
let's send it over to Dan Bigelow.
Yeah, guys, you mentioned it. St. Francis in the West Catholic League, one of the toughest in all of California. They went 16-0 this year in league. The first team ever to go 16-0. So don't count out the Lancers just yet with 12 minutes left, guys.
They got to make a move, though, against this pressure. This zone defense has slowed down Lincoln, but give the Lincoln Hornets some credit. I think they've done a much better job of being patient against this zone defense. They're attacking the rim, as evidenced by that layup off the spin move.
That's a D1 move right there. To get on the catch and just sense and have that feeling, that sixth sense of understanding where the ball pressure is going to come from, where the defense is coming from, and to spin off of it and get a wide open look in the paint.
Long three-pointer on the way. That rims in and out. Rebound taken by Lincoln, and Dean quickly into the front court.
Nice step through that time by Dean.
See, no settling right now for Lincoln. They're doing a much better job at the offensive end. Wide open jumper not there, and a little bump to the floor that time. Inadvertently done. That was Victor Dean picking up the personal foul. I thought Tyler Johnson did a pretty good job of acting that out.
Coach not happy about that one, but I think when you watch it on replay, you see the extension as he came down, and clearly what was able to draw the foul.
It was a good play by Johnson, though. He was bumped a little bit. Play it out. 2:55 remaining in the quarter. Oh, look at that. Almost stolen by Powell. And Tyler Johnson with it to Wang in the corner. High arching three-pointer. Doesn't get a bounce, and rebound taken by Powell. Hooked on the play. And a nice bit of sportsmanship helping up James Rosario that time.
You know, the concern for St. Francis, and Dan was talking about the numbers, clearly they're there. They're a resilient team. They've had a sensational season. You don't get to this point without having a great season. But the bigger concern is this is 2 games in a row where they have not shot the ball very well at all. I mean, if Wood Creek would have shot with any kind of consistency, they only shot 35%, and yet you only won by 1.
Still down inside and bring the ball back out. Three-pointer on the way, and that's knocked down. Number 5 in green, Tyrell Robinson. 6'3", only a freshman.
Nice screen on the weak side and a good cut. Just didn't have the angle and make the entry pass.
Johnson is a clever player, setting up his teammate Wang, who responds with a 3 of his own.
The coach immediately calls out for their zone defense, and the zone hasn't been bad, but it hasn't slowed down Lincoln enough for them to eat into this lead. It's up to 18.
Powell, beautiful pass, layup, and good.
And that's just great action in the half-court set. You create the cut and immediately dump down. Good interior pass. And great vision by Norman Powell.
20-point lead now for Lincoln. Not trying to get too far ahead, but young Norman Powell, just a junior in high school, reminds me of a pretty good point guard playing for Kentucky right now.
Well, he's dangerous in the open floor. I'm not going to go as far to say that he's
I didn't say
John Wall good, but he is as good as advertised. Coming into this game, he was the guy that you and I both knew were going to be the focus point of our game. We knew that there were going to be a ton of college scouts coming to watch him play, but his athleticism and strength, and what is John Wall-esque, is in the open floor, just how dangerous he can be and how he's strong with his shoulders.
Powell obviously got a lot of work to do, and he's got time to do it.
Tyler Johnson's got 4 personal fouls, and he'll go to the bench for St. Francis. And that's a huge loss offensively out on the floor, because not only is he your best scoring option, but he's also one of your best facilitators, if not the best facilitator of your life.
And getting lost once again on the inbounds play. That's the 2nd time in this half. That's Drew Dickey, 6'8" sophomore, who picks up the personal foul. Big weekend for college basketball. Some surprises from my point of view. Tennessee beating Ohio State. Very surprised by that. Joshua Smith now at the line. But I guess no bigger surprise than Northern Iowa taking out the overall #1 seed Kansas last week.
They fall today to Michigan State.
Not surprised by that.
Well, Tom Izzo is the man of March. You know, there's certain programs that flourish this time of year, and the college game, the high school game is no different.
Right, exactly. Sean Dawkins back at the point, working against the pressure applied very nicely by Tyree Robinson. And a little bit of a bump foul, a little bit too aggressive, but good solid defense and a good effort by Lincoln at the defensive end. Lincoln now with a 21-point lead, 55-34, 1:34 left in the third.
I think you're starting to feel St. Francis playing with that fatigue and just the wearing out of Lincoln, what they do because of their athleticism. They wear you out both physically and mentally. And that time, McCoy with the turnover, and you see the frustration on Johnson's face, but Lamont McCoy, your point guard, needs to do a better job taking care of the ball, realizing you just can't force it. I mean, it's the right angle, make the right pass, make the simple play.
Pull-up jumper not there, working hard for the rebound. Easy play to call. Nathan Maxey going over the top that time of Drew Dickey. 4 personal fouls now on Maxey. And 17 fouls on St. Francis. That's only 14 fouls on Lincoln.
And Maxey's going to go sit back down after he just got back in the game, and he's frustrated and asking how is that a foul? Well, when you're standing from behind, even though you're taller and you reach across and your hands across someone's face, they're going to call that a foul every single time. And the officiating crew, I think, has been very fair in the calls on this game. They're letting the guys play a little bit.
Wang looking at a three-pointer off the front of the iron. And here comes Powell once again with numbers. Wang trying to body up.
Contact.
Boy,
there.
was there a lot of contact. Joshua Smith was backing Wang down and just couldn't get to the rim. Contact at the other end as well. And now it'll be Tim Wang shooting free throws. It is Lamont McCoy, wearing number 12 at the point. It is not Sean Dawkins.
And you see down low, a lot of contact at that end. No foul was called. It comes immediately back down. McCoy with a nice push up the floor. Wang, as I mentioned, even at 6'1", not afraid to mix it up underneath and get the contact. He doesn't knock down the first free throw, but you mentioned it. What a great student. Hoping to play basketball at MIT. I'll be honest. I had the option to go to some pretty good universities, some great academic institutions, certainly UCLA one of them, which is where I ended up. But the Air Force Academy was another place I was going to look at. But MIT, you know how competitive it is to get into MIT?
Can you imagine that rarefied air? And speaking of air and air time, Norman Powell, we're talking close to half a dozen dunks now in this championship game. 30 seconds now remaining in the third quarter.
22 points for Powell.
That shot rejected.
And he's going to look for 24 here if they can find him.
Shot clock is off. Lincoln has done a superb job running their offense, breaking down this zone, and their head coach Jason Bryant says, hey, we're waiting for one.
I said before we started this game, most athletic team overall in the state of California. They have not disappointed so far. 3
seconds, and they turn it over. Wang measuring up all the angles and coming up just a little bit short. Third quarter in the books here at the boys Division II State Basketball Championships in Bakersfield. And flying high and putting on a show is Norman Powell of Lincoln. Lincoln on top after 3. 60-34. Time now for our Farmers Insurance True Storyline of the game, presented by Farmers Insurance. And it has been all about Norman Powell continuing to just get the job done. 22 points. Tyler Johnson leading the way for St. Francis. And here's another look, Sean, at an outstanding basketball player.
Yeah, 7 of 13 shooting from the field. It's pretty easy, though, when you get looks like that. His athleticism, his strength, his ability, that one there, to me, is the move of the game. It might not be the best dunk or highlight that we have, but just the feel that he has out on the court. And you can see why so many colleges are enamored with this young man. 22 points, 5 rebounds, for Norman Powell.
That has been our Farmers Insurance true storyline of the game. Just a reminder, visit farmers.com today to hear more true stories from Farmers customers and to find an agent near you. Paul Sunderland with Sean Farnham. Teams getting ready to inbound to start the final 8 minutes of this championship game.
And
Tyler Johnson back on the floor with 4 personal fouls.
And you know, Coach Bryant talked about toughness out of his team. They've given up only 1 offensive rebound in the second half. So nice job shoring up their defensive glass here.
Johnson bumped on the outside. Skip pass along the baseline. Gretzky's still not there.
Johnson's lucky he didn't get his 5th foul.
Yep, 1 for 11 in the first half. Oh, nice unselfish play. No foul. Yeah, foul was called from behind. Boy, Lincoln is really doing a good job sharing the basketball. Javante Bird taking it down off the wing, could have shot that ball, passed it inside.
One of the true marks of a championship caliber team and a great team is how do you respond at the break? You know, when you have a lead of 10 and you're feeling confident about where you're at, how do you come out in the second half? Do you act like you're up by 10, or do you come out and act like you're down by 10? And the focus and attentiveness we've seen out of Lincoln here in the second half is a team that you see great maturity from, and understanding of the game, the magnitude of it, and the significance of their coach and the game plan that he put together.
Wow, that's a hard foul taken that time by Drew Dickey. A little bit frustrated. Thought he was fouled over the top. And there'll be more free throws coming this time. It could be Roshan Simpson to the line once again. 9th team foul now on St. Francis. So 1 plus the penalty, and coming back on is Pat Crowley for St. Francis.
Drew Silver, who just committed the foul, is going to take a seat on the bench.
Free throw off the back of the iron, battled for, and what else? An offensive rebound taken by Lincoln.
They'll start to be a little bit patient here. Pull it back out, realize they're going to fall back, and now they're going back to a man-to-man. And they look a little confused defensively that time. But some of them were playing zone, some of them were playing man. They didn't hear coach yell it out when he switched the defense halfway through that possession.
Usually not a good idea, and here is Javante Bird off the steal. And almost a held ball, bodies flying everywhere. And possession arrow to sort that out. Game getting a little scattered here to start the 4th quarter. And now with Lincoln leading 59-34.
You just see a lot of hustle, guys diving all over the floor, and Johnson specifically playing tough with 4 fouls. And again, miscommunication as far as defenses go. They're switching up. They're not identifying exactly where they're at. Now you've got Johnson with 4 personal fouls. Almost at the half-court line, playing man-to-man defense.
Bird, high screen. That shot off the back of the iron. Well executed half-court set.
They had the look, just unable to knock it down.
Johnson, a little up fake. Very clever player is Johnson. Good ball movement by St. Francis, wide open, and knocking that down is Pat Crowley. Wide open in the corner, that very flat jump shot. That's an obvious area of improvement that will have to come for Norman Powell. Rosario down in the lane, and he's bumped by Powell. And Lincoln still not over the limit, so that will be a common foul, and St. Francis will inbound.
The last possession, some great ball movement going on for St. Francis as they were working in the half-court set. And watch the way the ball swings from here and gets out here in a very quick hurry because of the great movement that you see offensively. On the nice pass, you got the screen, the dump down inside, the great pass to the outside, right back up top, and a good look to create just enough space.
Wang off the inbounds play, and another basket for St. Francis, and now it's a 20-point game. Spin move off the glass, not there, and rebound taken by Dempsey. It's a rare perimeter make, as you pointed, going back to their beating St. Francis, their game against Wood 3. in the regional semifinals. This is a team that just hasn't been able to make shots, and that's a 5th personal foul, if I'm not mistaken. That's called against Tyler Johnson. Easy play to call. Just very frustrated. His last high school game before he moves on to Fresno State. Good player.
And you've been in these moments before, and you understand the emotion, and he's starting to get the best of him right now, and his coach doing a nice job grabbing him by the jersey, saying, look, I know this hasn't gone the way we thought it was going to go tonight, or we hoped that it would go tonight, but you've had a great career. You know, it's that emotional period as a senior. You give so much heart and soul into it.
And for more on Johnson, let's send it over to Dan Dibley.
Guys, an incredible comeback from Johnson. He ripped up his knee in the summer in Las Vegas. He missed the first 7 games this year. When he came back, he and the other seniors led St. Francis on a storybook run all the way to the state championship game, so you can understand why he's really feeling the emotion here, watching the final game of his high school career end here with a probable loss, guys.
Sean, you remember your last high school game?
I was sitting in that same chair, and the emotions got the better of me. At the time, I had no idea where I was going to go to college. I wasn't already committed, and it was at the state championship up at the Arco Arena. So yes, I remember it.
I remember mine as well. It was against Santa Barbara High School, and a gentleman then named Keith Wilkes, better known as Jamal Wilkes, went on to have a pretty good career at UCLA and then in the NBA. Another NBA player on that team named Don Ford played for the Lakers, among other teams. And the longer time passes, the better we played. That was the CIF Southern Section Finals, and we got rocked.
Which one was more memorable for you, the volleyball or the basketball part?
Well, that was memorable.
Look out!
The basket is rocking. A throwdown by Victor Dean. And the lead now is 63-41 and a timeout in the backcourt. Not sure if you really want me to answer that question, Sean, but I will.
Hold that for a second.
I will.
Because that one was spectacular. Elevator going up, please. Thank you very much. I'll get off here.
Getting off at the penthouse.
Oh, Victor Dean. Just so impressive.
Well, these are special moments and special memories for all of these kids in the state championships. I got together with all of my former high school teammates. Regrettably, my high school coach and one of the most influential people in my young life passed away recently. We all got together, and it was great to see everyone. And those are memories that all the water under the bridge that has passed. It's a special memory and a special group that I'll always recall.
And it will be for these kids too when they come back to their 10, 15, 20-year reunion. These are the games that they talk about. Even if you lose them, you still talk about it.
Missed by Powell about the only mistake he's made.
Do it again!
Another follow dunk by Dean. A lot of these kids will go on and play college basketball, but for many of them, this is the biggest game they will ever play in. Look at the speed. Oh my goodness gracious.
Thank God with the travel. Well, athleticism all over the court. Guys that can make plays, and Lincoln's made plays all year long. It's a travel, sure, but why not? Let's look at it.
Look, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but just for about a 1/10 of a second, that was an NBA play right there. I mean, what a great play.
And Lincoln having a lot of fun right now, enjoying the moment.
A good decision, playing the right way, bring the ball back out inside of 4 minutes. Lincoln with a commanding lead, 65-43. Spreading the court and going to run some clock.
Little push off and a missed shot that time, but I love the patience we're seeing out of Lincoln in their half-court set. You know, they have opportunities to run, they have, but they've been able to work the clock down as well.
Dempsey out of the corner, make that Pat Crowley knocking that jump shot down. And inside of 3.5 minutes, and at the other end, count the basket and the foul. Basket now good by Joshua Smith, and will look to complete the three-point play.
A nice job in the transition game once again. The open floor, able to draw the contact and be strong and still finish.
Boy, this is an awfully good high school basketball team out of Lincoln in San Diego. Came in to this tournament, if I'm reading it correctly, ranked 19th in the state.
That'll improve.
I would think so. I would think so. Good spin and look. Wang, long three-pointer on the way and gets the soft bounce.
Still fighting St. Francis. Kids playing hard all the way to the end, and that's what you want to see as a coach.
And left-handed layup that time, up and in by Norman Powell. Powell now continued to add to his total. Our stats computer isn't working. Maybe Powell broke it.
I don't know, but Victor Dean has been the guy up above the rim making play after play. 2 minutes and 55 seconds away from being crowned state champs.
This CIF State Basketball Championship is presented by Farmers Insurance. To find an agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS. This is the boys Division II championship, being dominated right now by Lincoln over a very hard-fighting St. Francis team, 69-49. And tomorrow night, the boys Division I game, it'll be Newark Memorial out of Northern California taking on Westchester out of Los Angeles. The Westchester Comets looking for another state title.
Well, that one is going to be an outstanding game. I'm really looking for it. Ed Azam, year in and year out, has one of the finest programs in the entire country. And of course, Newark Memorial knocked off De La Salle High School, my alma mater, the Northern California Championships. Tenacious defense they play.
Westchester High School throughout the course of the years has produced a number of NBA and college stars. Reschke, long three-pointer, and he nails that one. 69-52 is the lead, 2:40 remaining for Lincoln. Trevor Ariza, the latest in that list out of Westchester, if my memory serves me. Isn't that right, Sean?
No question, he was one of the key cogs to success in that program. And last two city section players of the year have come from Westchester in Southern California.
And that layup off the iron, no. Powell takes the rebound in traffic. And look at that, still battling. Beautiful effort that time by Tim Wang. Dean at the other end, wild shot.
He was getting a little fancy with that one. He's feeling it a little bit. He's checking his swagger to see how much he has left in it.
Three-pointer almost banked in, and look at Wang battle. As we mentioned, it's worth repeating. Tim Wang has to be one of the outstanding students in the entire country. That rare breed who has been accepted to pursue his collegiate career at MIT.
For Lincoln, they're sitting there looking at the clock. 1:56 left to go. They averaged, by the way, Lincoln came into this game averaging close to 72 points per game, giving up about 54 points per game. 2 made free throws here, and you're at 71-54, right on your average of where you've been all season long as the first one rims out. But, you know, teams that come in, they stay true to who they are. They play to their system. They play to their strengths. They allow their athleticism to make a lot of plays for them. And the mascot's showing us his face. He's not supposed to do that. Put the head down. What are you doing?
It's ruined for me now. It's just ruined for me now.
Wait, look at this. You know, that rule number 1 as a mascot, you don't show your face. You just don't show your face. I mean, I realize he's sweating. I mean, look at him. Maybe he wants to see the championship with his own eyes. But kids around the country right now watching this game, we mean the Hornets not real? And I think it's so unique and so great for the state of California to have these type of events because it really allows you to see just how talented these boys and girls are at this age as they're growing up and they're moving on in their high school life and into college.
Out of bounds play, and smartly Lincoln will let that ball go, and it should be inbounded all the way at the other end, and it will. The state tournament took a long hiatus. My history is correct. In the early 1900s, from 1916 to 25, there was a state basketball tournament in California. Suspended it for a long time, and then they revived it in 1983. And it has been ongoing ever since then. first time I ever saw the state basketball championship. Young guy who turned out to be a pretty good player went on to star in that game, a guy named Jason Kidd.
St. Joe's of Alameda, I remember watching him play up in Northern California. Some great matchups. I mean, you go back to those days at De La Salle, they were rivals. And De La Salle had Brent Berry, Drew Berry, the Berry brothers, of course. Joe McClain, who went on to Arizona. Some physical play here on the weak side. And Tim Wang getting very, very physical with Tyree Robinson.
I think that's pretty good officiating. The two number 5s were getting it into it, Tyrell Robinson and Tim Wang, and the official called a double foul, so they will jump it up. That was a good piece of officiating. They were getting distracted and getting into their own thing, and that was whistle needed to be called. James Osorio will head to the sideline, and now some of the reserves getting some action in this game. Alex Stevenson on the floor now. And put up and in that time by Spencer Brisky. 70-56. It's the closest that St. Francis has been for quite some time. Inside a minute and 20 seconds.
The pressure now being extended out by St. Francis defensively as you look at the season. It'll be tough for St. Francis to walk away here and feel good about what they accomplished, but getting to the state championship, so hard to do. And to come out on this stage and not have your best game, you get a score like we have tonight.
Victor Dean continues to add to his total. And down the lane, drawing the foul is Lamont McCoy. I'll tell you what, I like the sportsmanship displayed by Lincoln. They could have kept running it up, if you will. They had a comfortable lead. There's no question that the outcome was no longer in doubt. They spread the floor. A classy move by Jason Bryant that time. They had a 20-point lead. We're running some clock. Now they're going to bring in their reserves, and Lincoln will deservedly be the Division II boys state basketball champions in 2010.
Kendall Kirkland, Andre Cherry, Dejon Jones, and Anthony Cherry all check into the game. So an opportunity for these players to get out on the floor and have their moment in the state championship.
And the celebration is on for the Lincoln High School Hornet fans. An impressive performance. Nathan Maxey at the back line blocking some shots. Victor Dean and Norman Powell did most of the work at the offensive end. But an overall superior team effort. St. Francis was game, but just couldn't make shots, and that's carrying over. Even though they advanced into the state final, they would have had to really shoot a high percentage, and that didn't happen. McCoy, long three-pointer off the front of the iron, and that shot missed. And going to the free throw line will be number 20, Ivan Bagaricic.
That's impressive ball. Nice job down low, getting an offensive look. And for these players all season long, they've contributed to their team's success, whether at practice or in the game opportunities that they've had. And always good to see everybody get a chance here in high school basketball, get out on the floor and live this dream.
And a foul in the backcourt with time winding down. It'll be free throws coming once again to Victor Dean. I would love to give you Dean's total, but our computer went down. We're getting that right now. 23 points total. Thank you very much. And congratulations to Mike Motil, outstanding head coach for St. Francis. Led them to now, with this loss, a 30-4 record. And they won the Northern California division, but on this day, Lincoln is just too good.
Too athletic, too quick. They get to the loose ball, they make plays happen, and the Hornets have represented very well for Southern California and more specifically San Diego.
On the turnover, a foul committed there. No question about that. That was Chris Chang taking the personal foul, and it's going to be free throws. Coming now to one of the reserves,
Dejon Jones.
Dejon Jones for Lincoln San Diego. Lincoln's going to be good next year. You look down their roster, Javante Bird's a junior, Kevin Smith a junior, Roshan Simpson a starter as a junior, Powell obviously a junior, Terrell Robinson only a freshman, Joshua Smith. Only seniors on this team are Victor Dean and Nathan Maxey, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Lincoln deep into the tournament again next year.
On the other hand, St. Francis is going to have a lot of rebuilding.
Yep.
You know, 9 seniors that helped elevate this program a year ago. They lost to Rockland in the finals of the Northern California Division II playoffs, and this year able to get revenge over Rockland and then continue to advance through. They beat Wood Creek 48-47 to get the opportunity and the right to play here.
So congratulations once again to Jason Bryant, head coach for Lincoln.
Very impressed with him, his staff. Such a nice job coaching his guys up to win a championship.
Margaricic good on the second of 2 free throws, and the final seconds will tick down. Buzzer not there, and that'll do it. Lincoln are the Division II boys state champions for 2010.
And that look really shows you everything, the excitement of all the hours of preparation. You know, at the college level, coaches get paid millions of dollars at the Division I level. In high school, not so much. These guys have jobs. They're doing so many different things. And all the hours and the dedication they put into developing these young men, both of these coaches, to get them to this moment. And one celebrates the other. Lots of hugs going around to the team and consoling. It's all part of the job when you're a high school basketball coach.
And let's send it over now to Dan Dibley with a very happy Jason Bryant.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Jason Bryant, obviously receiving congratulations, shaking hands with the St. Francis Lancers guys. Coach, just a terrific second half for your guys. What'd you tell them in the locker room to get them to be so focused in the second half?
I think we were being out tough. They played tough on us in the second quarter. That was the bottom line. They had at least 15 offensive rebounds in that first half, and, you know, bottom line, you know, they just wanted it more than we did. And I don't think we understood how physical we needed to be in a game of this magnitude, and we just tried to stress that at halftime. And I think they listened. You know, they were more physical, and it worked out for us.
Athletically, you guys were so strong in both halves. The second half, it seemed like you kind of scaled down the emotion a little bit. Was that partly the leadership that took over for you guys?
Absolutely. We have, you know, Victor Dean is our leader, Norman Powell, you know, Andre Cherry. He didn't play much tonight, but he's a senior leader, and we just made sure that they understood to relate to other boys that calm down. You know, it's a big game, but we still got to play. It's still 8-minute quarters. We still got to focus on every quarter individually and try to win every quarter and just play basketball.
Coach, you only lose 5 seniors. How soon do you start focusing on repeating?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I mean, you know, this is why we coach. This is why we play. You know, we want to be, you know, a great team, a great program, and, you know, tomorrow the work starts all over again for us.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations and good luck next year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, only 5 seniors leaving. They're reloaded for 2011. Could be a team to watch next year.
Yeah, and, you know, strong third quarter yet again in the Southern California Championships, 27-10. They went on a 22-9 blitz tonight to separate this one, Paul.
Lincoln wins the state championship here in Bakersfield, 74-59 behind Victor Dean and Norman Powell. Just a quick reminder, another doubleheader tomorrow. It'll be Oak Ridge out of the north against Long Beach Poly in the girls Division I championship, and in the boys it'll be Newark Memorial against Westchester High School. For Sean Farnham and Dan Dibley, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks for watching. This has been the California Basketball Championships coming your way. Lincoln wins it